Hey everybody, it's me Stacey here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com, and welcome to today's Saturday with Stacey YouTube class number 614. Hey everybody! Now if you're watching this during the premiere of today's class, that would be 8 a.m. sunny California time, 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern, or 4 p.m. in the United Kingdom. Well, we are live chatting during the premiere. You may see a live chat over here if you're on a desktop or a laptop. Could be below if you're on a different device. Say hey, we want to meet you. So we encourage all of you who are new to my channel, or those of you who, what do they say, they type in that they've been lurking. They've been watching but not live chatting. All you have to do is say hey and just let us know you're there. We're excited to meet everybody and have a really great time during today's class. Now, I have a lot to do today. There's no doubt about it. I have got brand new product from Elizabeth Crafts. I am working with Ecoline watercolor, liquid watercolors, Ecoline brush markers or brush pens, and just a technique after a technique after a technique. And that is what Saturday with Stacey YouTube classes are about. They are commercial free, they are technique based, and they are full length so that we start at the beginning and we end at the end. We don't skip anything in the middle and just assume that you know what happened. No, we start from the very beginning. For perhaps beginning crafters, all of us were there at some point. All of us picked up a stamp or a die or paper and scissors for the first time at some point. So there's got to be others out there who are just starting as well. So I try to start with some basics and then take you all the way to the end where it's technique, technique, technique. And today there's a lot going on. There really is. I've made a list of what I'm supposed to get done in the amount of time I think I can get it done. So this is not a demo. This isn't a quick how to do and away we go. This is as if you were stopping in your local independent craft store and sitting down to take a class. The only difference is it's free. So yes, it could be 2 hours. It could be 2.5 hours. Last week's class was almost 3.5 hours long. My classes are unscripted. They are not edited. There is nothing pre-planned. I know what product I'm working with, but there's nothing pre-done. I will say today, with the exception of a few things because I needed dry time. So I'm going to try not to use what I have over there, but just in case I have a few extras because of dry time. And that's it. What happens, happens. What you see happens, I go with it. If I make a mistake, we fix it. If something comes out fabulous, you hear me go, oh! Everything is just as real and as honest as I can be. And it is like you and I are sitting across from each other on the dining room table or in your craft space. I don't have a craft space. So we'd be sitting on our dining room table, having coffee and making pretty things together and playing, going, oh, together. So I'm excited that you're here with me today. And I do have winner chicken dinner to talk about, but I have three winner winners to talk about. You see, we used to do winner chicken dinner all the time on Facebook, all the time. But then things got a little weird on Facebook where random people would be posting. They'd be posting underneath your comments like, hey, you sound really interesting to me. Why don't we be friends? And I'm like, no. And typically they were, no. So typically they're spam. You would click to their account and they would have no friends and it was just set up. So it was a phishing thing. So we stopped doing winner chicken dinner and giveaways on Facebook because I felt a responsibility to you to protect you from these bots or people, who were posting underneath all of your kind posts. So we came to YouTube and I thought, well, we'll try it on YouTube and see what happens. Last week was the first week. Now I have a lot more control over spam on YouTube than I do on Facebook. So last week I did a sneak peek video and showed you everything on my table, and you had to post what time you thought I'd be done. I'll let you know I didn't get home until I think it was almost 2 o'clock in the morning. It will be the same today. It is almost 10 p.m. tonight. If the class is 3 hours long, that means it won't be done till 1 a.m. and then I have to go load the video. I'll probably be home around 3 to get up at 6 so we can live chat at 8. Yes, in my brain thinks I'm still in my 20s and can do this. My body at 6 a.m. when that alarm goes off after 3 hours sleep is like, girl, you're old. Okay, but I digress. So we've moved the Winner Chicken Dinner here to YouTube to see how that goes. And last week you had to post a specific comment. What time did you think I would get home? And I have a winner. And that winner doesn't receive a gift card. They receive some of the product that we used in that class. Not that I used, not the used product. You'll get brand new things, but you'll get a selection of what was in that class sent to you. Compliments of Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. So I have our first winner from last week, and of course there is a sneak peek for this class, and that sneak peek will stay up the whole week. So you can go post your comment the whole week for a chance to find out if you are now one of the 3 winners that we have every week here on YouTube. Very exciting. So, oh, my glasses, they're always so dirty. So our first winner from last week's sneak peek on the Scrapbooking Made Simple YouTube channel. It is always a short, so it's under 1.5 minutes. You'll find it, and then you can post your comment on this week's. Is Stephanie Armstrong. Congratulations. See, we don't even have a formal form filled up yet. This is so new. Elena's like, what are we gonna make it? I don't know, we'll make it a different color or something. But Stephanie, congratulations. You are a winner chicken dinner here at Scrapbooking Made Simple. You have won a selection of last week's products that will be shipped out to you. You don't have to do anything to claim your prize. All you have to do is say, wahoo ka-choo! Holy smokes, artichokes! Yes, it is your turn. Well, you're the very first. You're the inaugural winner chicken dinner from a sneak peek on YouTube. Congratulations, my friend. Now, if we didn't know who Stephanie was, we were able to find her on our online site, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. She must have an account with us. So if you're going to post, please make sure we can find you. Go over to scrapbookingmadesimple.com and make an account for yourself. Even if your username isn't necessarily your real name, if there is a way for us to find you, we will find you. And if we can't find you, well, then I guess I will announce it and say, hey, we don't know who you are. You need to contact us to get your prize. But then you'd have to prove who you are. Anyway, that's for a later time. So Stephanie, congratulations. We'll have a package out to you in the next week or so of new product that we were using last week. Then we have our regular winner chicken dinners, and we do 2 every YouTube. And these people posted a comment on this YouTube class, on the full length class, not the sneak peek. They might have done that as well, but they won here. And we all ask that you like the video. Gosh, my fingers, I can see my fingers are inky. Isn't that, wow. You have to like the video and then post a comment in the comment section. Live chats don't count. Live chats don't count. Haven't figured out how to do that yet. Live chats don't count. It has to be a comment below. So like the video because that determines the amount of the gift card that you're going to receive. The more likes we get, the more money we give away. And then post a comment below. And as long as that comment is kind, doesn't have to be about anything in particular. As long as it is kind, it will be approved, and then you go into the running to be a winner chicken dinner. And these 2 lovely ladies have won $100 to Scrapbooking Made Simple. What a great week to win. Now you could spend it anytime you want. You don't have to spend it this week or next week or the week after. You could spend $20 this week and $20 next week. It is there for the duration until it is gone. So our first winner is Cindy. Cindy Pratt. Hello, Cindy. Congratulations, winner chicken dinner. Well done, you. You have got $100 in your online account to spend any way that makes your heart happy. Now, our next winner is Phyllis. I love this. I can pronounce all these names easy peasy. Phyllis Steele. Hello, Phyllis. I can say Phyllis and Steele without any problem. You're a winner chicken dinner, my friend. Congratulations. $100 is in your online account right now for you to spend. I hope that you and Cindy and Stephanie are like, ah! Maybe you're pausing your TV, you're taking a picture, you're calling your friends, screenshotting it so you can email it to everybody. But yes, it is your turn, all three of you. Stephanie with product from last week's YouTube class, and Phyllis and Cindy with a $100 gift card. I'm hoping that this way, to do a winner chicken dinner, we're able to keep up with it and not have the problems we were having on Facebook. And I just don't know how to solve them, or I would, but I don't. So we have to do the winner chicken dinner dance for all three of these lovely ladies. So sit up girls. Are you ready? You're a winner chicken dinner. You're a winner chicken dinner. Wahoo, ka-choo for you. Congratulations to all of you. I hope you enjoy everything. And Stephanie, look for a Wahoo ka-choo prize in your mailbox coming to you soon, shortly. All right, so today I have a lot to do. We have a full class today using Elizabeth Crafts. I have got their brand new products, and we're just gonna go in order. I do have an I Want It All bundle, but it does not include everything that is from Elizabeth Crafts. I kind of separated it. There's some dies and some journaling dies that I didn't include in the I Want It All bundle. Today, the I Want It All bundle consists of the paper and of the stamp sets and the stencil set. So that's primarily what we're going to be working with. I don't think I'm going to be touching many of the journaling dies or the page dies at all, but you never know. It's unedited, unscripted, and what happens, so you never know. All right, you guys. Well, it's me, Stacey, Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. Excited that you are here. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and if you are live chatting, hey! All right, I'm going to tilt on down, and we are going to get started for today. A lot to do, but a lot of fun. And I have two glasses of water. Not that I need to drink them. I need them for my hake brush. This is my hake brush, not hockey. Hake, H-A-K-E. But I am so nervous that I'm going to spill them that I have a full roll of paper towels just in case. Fingers crossed. All right, you guys, down we go. Let's get started for today. Good to see everybody. All right, so I have a lot happening. Boy, I match. I didn't plan that, but I do. I have a lot happening today. And again, we're going to start at the beginning and end at the end. I am using new product from Elizabeth Crafts. I've got the I Want It All bundle. And some open stock. This was just a really cute sample, but then at the end, I've also got some amazing. I'm not going to open this, go through it now. You're going to have to wait. But I've got some amazing things at the end. So the I Want It All bundle is for, let's see, it's got the paper. In fact, I'm going to open it up because we're going to have to use it. I might as well open it up. It retails for $72.75. It's yours for $61.84. And we're going to be using it today, so I might as well just open it on up and pull everything out. So I've got the Summer Flower stamp set, That's part of that I Want It All bundle for $61.84. I love this. I absolutely love this. I'm gonna show you how we used it. It's the journal phrases. I have got Cracked Fields. Probably gonna be playing with this one today. We have got a set of stencils. So there are 4 stencils in here. This is all part of the I Want It All bundle. And then we have got her paper. And I'll probably be cutting into some of this today. So that is what makes up your I Want It All bundle for your $61, a little over $61, and not $73. So the stencils, 4 stencils, and 3 stamp sets. I do want to show you what is not part of the I Want It All bundle, because we will not be using it today. We have got the gardening set, stamps, and coordinating dies. So it comes in one set, stamps and coordinating dies, available open stock. And then I've got several of the little pages and pockets. This can be a trifold. This is the plant index folder. So fits Passport, Passport XL, Square XL, Art Journal. I have got this is so stinking cute. This is the In the Garden Shed, fits the XL Art Journal. So darling, really so cute. So much can be done with this that doesn't have anything to do with journaling. I have got the Floral Slats file folder, fits Passport XL Art Journal. So you've got the file folder and then different tabs to go on it and a beautiful floral. We use this floral all over the place. And we did use some of these to do cards with and things of that nature. And then we have got the Bloom file folder, fits Passport XL Art Journal. So again, another file folder, and you've got corners that you can tuck in and make pockets. You've got tags. So these items, while we have them available, they're available open stock and not in the I Want It All bundle. The I Want It All bundle is what we're really focusing on today, but I wanted you to see those, and I'll show them again at the end. Let's put them over here for now, or maybe here for now. All right, today we're gonna start with the 2 stamp sets here. And I love this background. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. It does come with the coordinating stamp or die cut. So the die cut will cut out the beautiful flower. And we're gonna do that in just a little bit. So I'm gonna pull this out, and this is where we are going to start. So that die cut, die cut fits the flower and lets you die cut that right out. So we're going to be doing that. And I want this bottom stamp here as well. Love, love, love. So these are by David. It is David. I made sure it's David. And he is one of the, just the cream of the crop designer for L's. All of these were by David, and he is so incredibly talented. Truly, even the paper is his design. David, love you. Hello, where have you been all my life? We need to become best friends. So start here, and I'm gonna bring over I'm just so worried about that water. I'm gonna bring over my stencil and stamp tool by Sizzix because we're going to stamp first. Now today I'm just going to be using this as a stamping tool, not a stenciling tool. At least I don't think so, but my intent is as a stamping tool. This has a sticky grid that comes with it. It has a lid that comes on and off. It does have an alignment tool that you would use for stenciling. The sticky grid holds your paper in place forever. I mean, a really, really long time. And one of the nicest things about it is there's no lip on any edge. So you can use any size paper you want, and you can do continuous stamping or continuous stenciling because your paper can go right off the edge. It is big, nice size, nice A4 size. So you've got ample room to put your largest stencils, your largest stamps, all the way down to something teeny, teeny, tiny, and it performs great every time. There is two sides to the lid. One side has a grid on top, and the other side does not. That smooth side is the side that's always going to be the side that picks up your stamp. I'm gonna grab some paper. We're gonna cut some. I am using today because I wanna be in the studio with Stacey classes, which are every Tuesday at 6 p.m. sunny California time, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. That's where I pair fine art product with paper crafting products. In those classes, I typically am using mixed media paper or watercolor paper or mineral paper. I'm using paper that you would find more in the fine art world. For today, I want to use just 110-pound cardstock. This is the Stacey Park 110-pound cardstock. I have it in white, in black, and in cream. Again, it is super heavy, and I think most people have cardstock in their stash, so I don't want you to feel you have to rush out and buy some kind of specialty paper to be able to do what I'm doing. The better the paper, the better the result, but you're going to be happy with this until you watch a Tuesday class, and then you're like, oh, that mineral paper's dreamy, and it is. So we're gonna start by stamping. And I'm gonna do brand new stamp. Ooh, love me a brand new stamp. Try not to lose that, Stacey. Okay. So I'm gonna put my paper down onto my sticky grid. And the minute I do that, it holds my paper in place. Eventually the sticky grid will stop sticking, especially if you keep putting your hands on it like this, or you accidentally get embossing powder over it. Anything that would make a sticker not sticky will make this not sticky. The good news is it will take a really long time for that to happen. And once it does, you just peel it up, and Sizzix sells replacement sheets. You get 5 sheets into a replacement, and I know it's under $20 for the 5 sheets, and I will tell you those 5 sheets will probably last you a year if you take care of them, maybe more. I don't go through my sticky grid very easily. It really has to not stick for me to change it. So I've got my paper down. I'm gonna put my stamp down, and in fact, maybe, no, it's okay, I'll do it this way. I'm gonna put my stamp down, put my lid in, close it up, and pick up my stamp. Now this is gonna let me stamp again and again and again. As long as I don't move my paper and I don't move my stamp off of the platform, I can stamp on top of the same image over and over again to make sure that I've got a good stamped image, or as dark as I'd like it to be. Today it's super important. We are playing with waterproof ink. It must be waterproof ink for today. It has to be waterproof ink, or you have to do embossing powder. Waterproof ink is not an alcohol-based ink, so it's not a permanent ink like a StazOn or an archival. It's a dye-based ink, but it doesn't move with water. It is not a pigment-based ink where it will take forever to dry and dry and dry. It will stain your stamp. Now, I don't mind that it stains my stamp because now I can see my stamped image. I can see what I'm stamping. When the stamp is perfectly clear, I have a hard time seeing what I'm doing, and that may be because I'm getting older. So I've got my image there, and if I want, I can go back and re-ink. if I want that image to be a little bit darker, or if I missed a spot. That's the benefit of having a stamping platform, is that you can go in and stamp over the top again, and it's gonna line up. Now, there are lots of stamping platforms out there, lots of them. You buy the one that makes your heart happy. The nice thing about this is it's dual purpose, that you can use it as a stencil alignment tool, and I have lots of videos. If you're doing any kind of layering, well, any stencil, if you want to be able to pick it up, look at it and see what you've done and then put it right back down, or have your layering stencils line up perfectly, then this is the tool for you, because it is twofold. All right, I think that looks pretty good. So I've got one done. And let's do another while I'm here. Looks fine to me. Let's ink it up. Now I take it off and lay it flat for me to ink up, only because I don't have enough room on my space here. I'm in my husband's office, Mr. SMS's office. He's given me all of 6 feet to work on. I also don't have an office at the house, but you could open the entire thing and then ink it without taking the lid off. I just don't have the luxury of that space. Now you can see I missed a little bit right there because I picked it up. But if I lay it back down and press, there, now I've got my image again. And ink it up a second time and stamp a second time. Okay, that looks good. So I've got those 2 done, ready to go. Take my stamp off. I just have to peel it up. There's no sticky on the stamp. It holds by cling, by cling. So you don't have to put any glue or tape or anything on the backs of the stamps. And it cleans up pretty well, but it is stained, and I'm okay with that because it helps me see what my image is. Unlike a clear stamp that hasn't been stained with ink, and some of you may want to clean it afterwards. My recommendation is to not use a solvent cleaner. Do not use something that you would be able to use for StazOn or archival ink. So now you can see the difference. So that image is very hard for me to see what it is I've got versus this one now that it's been stained. If you do clean it, make sure you don't use a solvent cleaner. Solvent cleaners and clear stamps do not work well together. That it is not winner, winner, chicken dinner, or happy day. The solvent can start to eat into the polymer of the stamp. So get a nice stamp cleaner if it makes your heart happy, but make sure it is for clear stamps. I'm just seeing if I have one just a little bit. Well, I think I'll make it fit. I think I can get 2. Pick it up, and then let's ink, 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 ink. And because this one has a solid surface, it may take a few tries to get it the entire image in that solid surface. That's pretty good. I'd like it a little bit darker. All right. That looks good. I'm going to be happy with that. Now the question is, do I do it there too? Thereby only using one piece of paper to get two images? Well, why not? And stamps are like a good copper pot or cast iron skillet. The more you use them, the better they become. When stamps are new, they tend to have a little bit of a film on them from when they are sandwiched in between what they call the liners or the carriers. So they're sandwiched in between here, and that tends to leave a little bit of a residue on them. After you have used them a few times, in fact, you could stamp off with them or like stamp a few times and not really care about it just to get that residue gone, or maybe lightly wash them with some super soft dishwashing detergent, Dawn, Palmolive. That will also take that residue off. But you will find the more you use the stamp, the better the stamp is. And both of these stamps from Elizabeth Crafts by David are stamps that are timeless. They're universal. They're any occasion, all the time, easy to use for everybody. Okay, I think I'm pretty good with that. So now I have got two images here, and I've got two images here. Now it's time to play a little bit. Let's take this off and wipe it down. Now the first thing I'm going to play with is the liquid watercolor from Ecoline. And Ecoline is a brand by Royal Talens. Royal Talens is a fine art manufacturer. Royal Talens has been around since 1899. Literally 1899. And they were called Talens Art until the Queen, they are over near Amsterdam in Apeldoorn, until the Queen designated them Royal because they were the art purveyor of the Queen. I mean, that's pretty impressive. So they've been around since 1899. Ecoline liquid watercolors have been around since 1930. This jar is the same, well, the label's going to be different, but the liquid in this jar is the same that you would have found in 1930. The color will be the exact same. It is amazing, but that is what a fine art company does. They set the standard of quality because artists globally use this product in their works, in their commissions, or in their you know, whatever it is they're painting or doing that they put out there for sale or in museums, or they're professors in colleges and in universities, and they are using Ecoline. And it's the same product from 1930. It is almost 100 years old. That tells you something about the quality of the company and the standard that they set. They keep to that standard and have kept to that standard or raised the standard as technology and products become available to make things even better than they were. You will love Ecoline watercolor, liquid watercolors. They retail for, I think, $8.50, and we have them for $5.99. And there's so much you can do with them. You will see when we get to the Ecoline brush markers how they work together. But really, that's almost 100 years old. The brush markers didn't launch until 2016. They were a late bloomer. All right, I'm gonna tilt on down and we're gonna keep going. So I've got my, oh, there's the sirens. That's how you know it's an SMS YouTube. All right, I've got my paper, which is with waterproof ink. I also have my Hake brush. Now, the Hake brush is from Yasutomo, and I didn't know anything about a Hake brush. As I've been going through my fine art journey, because I am a brand ambassador and art ambassador for Royal Talens, I take classes, I'm mentored, I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm having a great time with it. Had no idea that this was called a Hake brush. And this brush is as thirsty as a brush can get. It is meant to hold water. So load it up. And to give you an idea of how much water it holds, that is a lot of water. It just drinks it up. Look at that. So we use this brush, I use this brush when I want to put down a lot of water quickly. I want to get it down there and I want to saturate my paper. Now I'm going to do that with this, but I'm going to decide what colors of Ecoline liquid watercolor I want to use. So I think I'm going to use yellow because it's me. Yellow's my favorite. I'll use maybe teal and maybe a pink. Now these have a pipette in them, and a little goes a long way. I'm talking like drops. You're not going to use much more than drops at a time. This is a dye-based product, so it is not light fast like a pigment-based product is. And how you know the difference between pigment and dye-based is if you think of sand and salt. So if you have a glass of water and you drop sand in it, the sand drops right to the bottom. If you have a glass of water and you drop salt into it, you can stir that salt until it dissolves. Pigment base is like sand. Does not work well with water. Doesn't like water, doesn't want water, and it's like sand where it just like stops. It just drops to the bottom. It does not play well. Dye-based inks are inks that you can mix with water, that like water, that say, hey. And that's a way for you to remember the difference between a pigment-based ink and a dye-based ink. Dye-based absorbs in, pigment sits up. All right, so I'm gonna take my Hake brush and I'm gonna get my paper wet. Now remember, it had to be waterproof ink, otherwise this would be smearing like crazy. Then I can come in and start to play. Ugh, look at that color. Is that dreamy? Let me go in. I can start to play. And I'm just doing drops. Literally drops. And because there is so much water down there, can you see how it's moving? There's so much water going on. Now, depending on what I want to do, I can come in and I can take my Hake brush and I can move them into each other. A little bit more water on it. And I can make them move. Or if I want easy peasy, oh my gosh, well, there was a lot of water on that brush. I can go in and with my baby wipe, just kind of spounce. Maybe pick up some of that color lighten it just a bit. But the beautiful thing is I can see where I don't have any color, and I'm able to then go back in, add a little bit of water, and maybe add a little bit more of my pink here, and maybe a little bit of my yellow to blend in, and maybe a little bit of my blue here, a little bit of water. And then go in and just pick it up. So I am primarily playing with water right now. I used so little, 1 drop. I'm gonna let that sit in there and then pick it up a little bit. And I'm gonna add a drop of yellow here and let it sit in there for just a minute. A drop. Bam. Let it sit there for just a moment. And then come back in and pick it up. And look at the colors I'm able to achieve. Look at how beautiful they are. And my paper, it hasn't gone all the way through my paper, nor is my paper warping. That's 110-pound paper. I've gone all the way around my outsides, just so when I cut it down, I have a little bit of ink around my outsides, and this literally will be done. We're gonna mat it and add a sentiment. But let's change up our colors just a little bit, and let's do our second one. Oh, lots of water in my hake brush. Now my hake brush is gonna get stained, and that's just the way it is. And my water's eventually not gonna be nearly as clear as this. In fact, this has got a little bit of pink in it, but that's okay. Now I'm a girl who likes to stay with her yellow. But let's see what we can do with a little bit of maybe yellow and red. I don't know if this is going to be a good blue or not. We'll try. So I'm going to dip my brush into my water, let it absorb some. I'm going to come in and literally water down my entire piece of paper. And then let's drop some ink. And let's see what we do with the blue. And I can come back in, put a little bit of water on my hake brush. And just kind of make it move. And then I can come in with a baby wipe and start to pick it up. Now that looks like a lot of ink, but it isn't. It's a lot of water. The Ecoline liquid watercolors and brush markers are highly saturated. I think I want some more red. And I'm just doing a drop at a time. And I can let it sit for a minute. and then come in and pick it up. I think I want a little more yellow up here. I'm just going to let that sit there. And then I'm going to come in and pick it up. Let that sit there. And then come in and pick it up. Let that sit there a minute. And then come in and pick it up. Okay. So now I've got two. That are beautiful and done. I can't help myself sometimes. I'm gonna let it sit there. And then pick it up. Just brighten that up just a little bit. And then we have to let it dry. So, two. Ready to go. And we'll finish them in just a minute. But we have, wipe my hockey brush out. We have these as well. So let's do those real quick. And I think I will use yellow and blue and maybe a little pink. Or maybe I use the lighter blue. Let's try the lighter blue and pink. So get my hockey brush going, load it up with some water. Remember, I'm using waterproof ink. Nice and wet. And then I just drop my color. That was 4 drops. Three drops. Two drops. And then I can come in and kind of marry them together. Now this is almost all water on the sides. You saw I didn't use much ink at all. And I can pick up some of this color, whether I use a paper towel or my baby wipe, and just pull that extra, it's more water than it is anything else. Pull it right off. And I might throw just a hair bit of purple in here. Just for, why not? Put some more water down with my hockey brush, and every time I put water down, it reactivates. And a little bit of water, and I add that water, and it makes that purple just move. I think I want a baby white. Let it sit for just a minute. And then go in and pick it up. You can make magic happen, and it's not hard. Little drops. Start with little drops. Little drops. Sometimes just touching it is enough. Let it sit. And then come back and move it in. Almost all water. Very little ink. And we're going to let that dry. There is no, there's no right, there's no wrong. It's white paper, and you can do this. And if you don't like what you've done, you get your baby wipe out and you pick up some of that ink. Although I like I think they're beautiful. I think that one's absolutely gorgeous. So let's do this one. This one's orientated in a different direction. And I like the yellow. And maybe I do a green and a yellow and a blue. Let's see what we get. Now some of you would take this, which is my paper towel, and you would let it dry and you do something fabulous with this too. I think what I like about this versus either spraying your watercolor or putting some ink down and smudging is I have control over what I'm doing. I can see what it is I'm doing and what it is I'm going to end up with, and I can change it if I want. Whereas if I'm spraying, you're just gonna spray, 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 and then you're kind of stuck with whatever. Or if you turn it upside down and smudge, which can be absolutely beautiful, but you also have no control over it. And sometimes you feel like a nut and sometimes you don't. Sometimes you're okay with saying, let it be whatever it be. And other times you're like, no, I wanna put the color where I wanna put the color, I wanna pick it up, I wanna add a little bit more. So right over the top. Nice and wet. My liquid watercolor. It is magic. There's no question about it. It's magic. So now I want my yellow to move in, and I can take my hockey brush and just kind of draw a line and add a little bit more water, and it will fill the space in. And then my blue. little bit more water. Just across the top. Zoop. And now let's pick some of it up with my baby wipe. Now if I want the color to stay that dark concentration, I just let it dry. And a little drop will do it. And it'll intensify the color. I love these stamps for this. I think that these are absolutely gorgeous, and it doesn't take any effort, and you look like a rock star. And then we let them dry. So, stamping, pretty darn easy. There's no coloring involved. I didn't go in here and color every petal. This one's about dry. This one's about dry. This was what was left in my brush. A little bit of water. A little bit of water. And I just make them move. All right, I'm gonna let this sit over there and see what we get. Just gonna let it be. Let it do its thing. All right, so let's clean out my Hake brush. And clean my table. And I'm gonna let these finish drying. And in the meantime, I'm going to grab those stamps again. Only this time I'm gonna use my clear embossing powder and my Wow embossing medium. So clear embossing powder, embossing medium. You're going to need a heat tool for this. So I have my Wow heat tool. I love it, I really do. I love this little extra safety thing here too, so you can't touch it. This is not a paint stripper, nor is it a blow dryer, and I'm gonna keep that cord as far away from those glasses of water. Oh, howdy am I ever. Let's see if I can move it around and this way, and I don't want this cord anywhere near that water. Okay, so it's not a paint stripper, it's not a blow dryer, it's a heat tool. And it will take embossing powder, which is a type of plastic that has been ground down super fine that when you heat it, it melts. So embossing powder is a plastic for all intents and purposes. And the embossing medium is like a stamp pad, only it is clear and it stays wet long enough for you to put the embossing medium on it. So it's more like a pigment-based ink because it stays on top, it doesn't suck into the paper, and it allows you to put the embossing powder on it and heat set. I'm gonna bring over a couple pieces of paper. And let's stamp with my first one. So I'm going to put it down, close it up, pick it up, and then I've got my embossing medium. And let's stamp down. Now this is clear, so you're not going to see anything. It may pick up a little bit of the black from the ink, from the waterproof ink that I used. Picked up a little bit of the black, which is fine. It'll be fine when it's all done. It actually lets me see if I've got a good impression or not, or if I need to add a little bit more. So I'm going to move this one off to the side. And it's wet right now. I'll need to put embossing powder on it. But let's do one more, and let's do it in the black. So let's ink up again. Let's press down again. And that way I have two that are ready to go. That looks pretty good. I could throw just a little bit more on there if I want to be absolutely certain. Because once I take my paper off my stencil and stamp platform, I can't realign it. Okay, so I've got two. Put that down just for now. And let's take a look at the embossing powder. Let's cut a little funnel. Make my own little funnel here. And I'm going to take my clear embossing powder and dump it right over the top. And anywhere that embossing medium is, that clear embossing powder is going to stick to it. I want to make sure I've covered every little inch of my stamp. And once I'm sure I'm good to go, I'm going to tap it back in to my little makeshift funnel. Now it doesn't look like much there, but it will when we're done. So I've done my clear, and now on this one I want to do my black. So I'm going to bring over my Wow Black embossing powder. And again, I'm a dumper because I'm going to put the majority of it right back in. Embossing powder goes a really long way. And when I think I've got it, dump it back into my funnel. And then I can look. Does it look like I've gotten every area in black? Okay, except for that little piece right there. Now I'm going to take all of this and put this right back in my jar. You use very little. Now the thing about embossing powder is it's a powder until you heat it and it melts. So let's do the clear. And I'm going to heat it till it melts. Now the thing with the clear is that it can be hard to see if you've got the entire thing done. A little bit of a challenge sometimes to see, and you won't know until you rub your hands across it, and anything that has not been heat set is going to wipe away because it's a powder. Okay, so I did my best. I thought I got it all. We'll see. We'll see if there's any holes when we add ink. I think I'm also going to grab my white. So white is here. I'm going to grab my white, and that might be a little bit easier for y'all to see. Let's see. I don't want violet pearl. No. 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 Maybe I don't get my white. Okay. Oh, here it is. White. If it was any closer to me, it would have bit me. So I've got this one done in clear, and we'll see what happens. I've got this one done in black, but I have to heat set. Now black is going to be far easier to see where it has been, there's been enough heat added to melt that plastic. So here you can see it's kind of shiny there where it's not over here. Shiny, not shiny. That means that if I wipe my hands on it, that's what happens if you haven't added enough heat to heat set. I was over here, I did good over here, but I didn't add any heat over here to melt that embossing powder, that plastic, to change it from a powder into a solid. I think that's the most dramatic way to show people what happens when you don't heat enough on your embossing. So let's do another one. So we'll get these two done. I'm going to do another one in black, so it doesn't look like this. But for those who have never seen embossing powder before, in the beginning, I didn't know you needed to heat set it. I thought you used glue and that's what it did. It was just this kind of, I don't know, textural thing. I had no idea until somebody said, well, aren't you gonna heat that? And I'm like, heat it? Do you remember the Tim Holtz distressed embossing powder that really didn't turn into anything? It was just kind of textural. That's what I thought embossing powder was. I know I'm not the only one out there. I had to learn. Okay, so there's one. And then I'll do one more, so I have one in black and one in white. You don't know until you know, right? Nice press. Lift it up, and I'll do it one more time just to be certain. Okay, so 2 done. Now I still have this one here, and I don't know how well I did. We won't know how well I did on the clear until we add some ink to it. I think I'll pull this off. And pull this on. Okay, 1. So I'm trying to make it work without taking my stamp off. I'm so close. Just a hair over. Just a hair. How about there? That looks good. And let's add a little bit more embossing. So now this one I am going to just do it because it's small. So I've just lifted my lid. I've just lifted my lid and I'm inking it straight there because it's a small stamp for me to do that too. And then down we go. All right. You think I got it? I've got 4 of them over here. I haven't added embossing powder to any of them yet. All right, we're gonna go for it. I'm gonna pull this stamp off. And we will move this out of our way. So now I did these two in the beginning, so I'm going to do one in white because the white is easier to see than the clear. I'll be able to see the white changing to white. And the white will cover up that black, that little bit of gray that I've got going on from my stamp not being exactly 100% wiped down, but I'm okay with that. See how that white completely covers it up? Just want to make sure I got my whole stamp good. Embossing powder everywhere. And once I feel pretty good about it, over to the side, and let's do one of these in white as long as I'm here. I just kind of let gravity do its thing, and there, I've got two in white ready to go. Now you can see why you don't want to do this over the top of your stencil and stamp tool, because you don't want any of this powder getting on your sticky grid. And I'm going to put almost all this powder back. Yes, a little bit has spilled here and a little bit has spilled there, but holy smokes, I still have a full jar. Okay, so that's two in white, and let's do the two in black. The black is simple for you to see where you've got your embossing powder and where you don't. It's also simple for you to see where you've got your fingerprint smudges. But this is a kind of distressed stamp, so I'm not going to worry about it. All right. Now let's heat set. Put that over there. Put the lid on my black so I don't spill any. Lid on my white so I don't spill any. And let's heat set. So I started with my white. And I hold my heat tool until it's time to move it. When I see it turn bright white, that's when I know it's time to move my heat tool. And I can see that white pop. Okay, that looks pretty good. I can see that it's kind of got a gloss to it and that my image is there. Let's do this one. That looks, well, that little, there we go. That looks pretty good. So you can see the gloss. The black will be much easier for you to see. As I move it across, I see it turn from a powder into a solid, from a dull black into a crisp, sharp black. And when I'm done, I can look at it and kind of move it. And anywhere I don't see it to be shiny, like right here, I know I haven't added enough heat. So I come back and zap it. Okay, that one looks pretty good, and let's do our last one. So again, I can see the difference between the two. The bottom has got that shiny look, the top looks dull. I haven't had enough heat yet to melt it. Okay, that looks pretty good. So I've got 2 in black and 2 in white. And I think I'm going to play with these 2 first. Now remember, we let this sit and we're just letting it do its thing, and I think it's doing its thing rather well. So I'm going to bring back over my Hockey brush. My lid's on. Yes, good. Embossing powder. There, good. Bring back over my Hockey brush. And let's get it wet and see what happens. And then let's drop some color. And the embossing powder, now that it's a solid, is going to act like a resist. And because I'm dropping my color, I choose where I want it to go and how much of it I want. Okay, so you can see how much water the blue is turning into purple as it mixes with the pink. And I can let it sit and then come in and start to pick it up. And anywhere that white embossing powder is, it has acted like a resist. I can darken the colors by dropping more. Let it sit. And then go in and pick it up. I like having the option of what I want it to be. By literally deciding where I'm going to put my color. And how long I let it sit for. So now you can see where the embossing has resisted the color, as opposed to using a black ink. I used white embossing powder. And I'm going to eventually cut away all of that noise. You're not going to, so I call all of this around it noise, because it makes it hard to focus on the main image. But we're going to cut all that away in a few minutes. Let's do the black. My hockey brush. Let's do some green. Look at how it just moves into some yellow. Into some red. I'm going to let it sit there for a few minutes and let my colors move and commingle. And then come in and pick them up. clean up my table and get a new baby wipe and make sure I'm happy. A little bit of water. And just let it sit. And then you can go back in, and I could just let it lie like this and let the color stay just like that. Or I pick it up. I think I want a little red just across the top. I think I'm going to let it sit and kind of be and see what we end up with. So white embossing powder, black embossing powder. Lids on. And while those dry, wipe up my surface. I'm going to let those two dry. That one was done with the black ink, black waterproof ink. So once we cut away the noise, what you are left with is the focal point of that image. Now, I would not throw these away because I may choose to die cut them, sentiments or something to coordinate. I would not necessarily throw those away. And then we've got out of the waterproof black ink, now you are focused on the image. There's nothing surrounding it, taking away from it. those off to the side. So I've got these 4. Oh, I didn't do the one with the clear. Well, no. Well, no. We'll move on. Because I know what we still have left to do. So let's pull over some of the paper. I'm going to move my water out of my way. I am still letting my embossing ones dry. And then we'll cut away the noise. Let's see what we've got in the way of paper. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. So you've got double-sided sheets, super heavy paper. I want to say there's 12 sheets, and they are strikingly beautiful. Could be that one. Not that one. All right, well, let's do the other ones first, and then I'll figure it out. So let's grab some paper, some white paper. And let's finish these off. You would do a better job of taping down than I am. Because after this, we move on to the brush markers and the liquid watercolor together. Oh, I think I like it right there. And yeah, I freehand. And no, my cuts are not perfect. But neither am I. So there's one. And let's put there for now. And then let's come in and do this one. And my white paper. That came out so pretty. And it was so easy. You saw how easy it was to do. You can't be afraid. Now this isn't that the liquid, the ink went through. This is because it went underneath, because I had so much water happening. You can't be afraid. It's just liquid watercolor. It's fine art liquid watercolor, which means that the intensity of the colors is going to be better. The saturation of the colors is going to be better. The luminosity of the colors is going to be better because it's made by a fine art company. And yet I know that there are lots of liquid watercolors out there that are not made by fine art companies that retail for about the same price. Not that there's anything wrong with them, absolutely not. But if you're going to get something, why wouldn't you want to start with the best if it's about the same price? Oh, this is so pretty. Yum. And I like it right there. I'm so proud of this card, I have to tell you. I have to tell you, I am so proud of this card. I think this is just, I can't get over how beautiful it came out. I should be like, it's just an everyday thing. It is not an everyday thing. Not everything comes out so wahoo kachoo, but you roll with it, you go with it, you finish it. I think the thing that most crafters don't do is finish. They get to a point where they're not necessarily thrilled with what they've done and they stop. If you would just give yourself the chance to finish it and then put it aside for a day and then come back with fresh eyes, chances are you look at it and it's like, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was. And more importantly, whomever you give it to is never going to know that you were about to toss it in the trash. No, don't toss it in the trash. Finish. And then if you really don't like it, then okay. But I've never known that to happen. So pretty. So there's two. Grab some white paper. And the beautiful thing is, if you're making these, you're never going to make two that are exactly the same. Just like your friends and your family are all individuals. No two are exactly the same. That's how your makes are going to be. No two exactly the same. And I like that blue. I love this paper. Look at how fabulous it goes with just about everything. there's 3. Let's put that one here. And this one is about dry. This one is with the white embossing powder. That was not a great cut. And once I cut off all this noise, all of a sudden, my beautiful image comes to life. Saw. Put it against the white and then I'll have a better idea. Oh, see, now I like it better against the pink. Okay. Just needed to put it against the white. All right, just about done with these. Oh yeah, once you put it against that white, happy day. Okay. And now I think I do like it against the pink. Now I think it looks beautiful. And then we'll move on to our last, well, I think I'm going to mat this one too, sorry. Okay, white with the embossing powder. And then let's see, let's mat this one so then I can see what I want. black embossing powder. Look at that. These are just, they're easy and they're fun and you feel so good. Let's put it against some white. Then I'll go look for the back. You feel so good when they're done, and I didn't even do this one yet. And you look like a rock star. It's about starting with better quality products. Elizabeth Crafts makes amazing quality products. Their papers, their stamps, their stencils, their dies, top notch. Absolutely top notch. And Royal Talens makes quality art supplies. Top notch. This one's not quite straight. But we will learn. To live with it. And then I know I had one over here. No, that's kind of pink. I thought I had one that was more red. Red. Blue, purple. I think that's the same as this one. It is. Look at, I used the back sheet of the main page. All right, I'm going to go with that, and then we move on. We haven't done sentiments on these yet, but we'll get to that. Will it fit here? Why, yes. Yes, it will. Perfect. Almost like I had a plan. I didn't have a plan. But almost like I had a plan. All right. So we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've done 6 so far. Time to move on. Keep these there because we're going to put sentiments on them, hopefully. All right, so you guys, it's now time to talk about the water brush, or the water color markers. So again, these are, I know my face is probably red, but that's okay. These are Ecoline brush pens. They do have a brush tip. They only have one nib. It's not dual. These are exceptional quality for your watercolor markers. They're beautiful. The ink, now first off, this is not that they spilled. That's the packaging. It kind of looks like they leaked all over the place, but they did not. All of them have that kind of look to them. They did not leak, I promise you. the ink that is in the markers. And today we're going to play with the brights, but we have them all on sale. So it looks like it's spilled, but the inks that are in the markers are the same inks that are in the jar. They match. So if you have marker number 337, oh, lucky me, I pulled ink number 337. The marker number and the jar match. It is the same ink. Typically, the brush pens are considered non-refillable. They're considered non-refillable. They're supposed to be a one-time use. But we have the refills right here. Now this is the same ink we just made all our samples with. You can fill your marker about 6 to 7 times. Not that you're going to run out of ink. It's that the nib, in this ink, there's a dispersion fluid that helps the liquid flow through the nib a little bit easier. This is going to work in it without any problem, but there will come a point where your nib may not be as sharp as the point as you want it. But that could be 7 refills from now versus 1 use only. It is pretty remarkable. So we are also going to be doing tip to ink blending today. Tip to ink blending. And I want to show you how that's done with these stamp sets so you can get a feel for how easy it can be. I'm going to tilt back on down. I'm going to quickly show you that to refill, you literally pull the nib out. Take your little pipette and just start dropping it in. Now these markers have not been used very much, so I'm not going to put too much in because they're not going to need to be refilled. And you just start to refill it. When you're done, you put your nib back in and you're good to go. Having the refills, and again, there's so much ink in this little thing. A little drop goes a long way. Lets you play with it how we've been playing with it, but also lets you refill all your markers. And yes, we have every color. I think there's only 3 colors in the jar, three colors that don't come in the jars. I want to say maybe it's dark sepia, and of course the blender doesn't come in a jar, the blender pen, and one other, but I can't remember what it is. But all the other colors we have for you, and we have, I think, 8 sets of markers for you. So we've done that. Now I want to go ahead and I want to do some blending. I'm going to grab my stamp again, and let's grab some white paper and bring back my stencil and stamp tool. Press down, bring it up, press down, Do one more time so I make sure I got a really nice dark color. And this is the Jacquard waterproof ink. Okay, there's one. You just zoom on in a little bit more. There's one. Maybe this way a little bit more. Yeah. Okay, let's pull this and let's do one more so I have two to play with. Now, where we were super random with our first cards, where we were using our hockey brush and getting the paper wet and letting the color go, and then going back and dropping colors where we want them. This time we're going to be very specific about where we put our color. That looks good. All right, I have got two ready to go. I'm going to put this in here just to save it, and I'll put that over here. So two ready to go. Now, let's grab another piece of white paper just so I can show you. We are going to do tip to ink blending. I've got my little palette. I've got my marker, and I'm going to take ink from my jar, put it in my palette, and dip my tip into my palette to have that color draw up, wick up, and then I'm going to come and I can color with it. Now, it doesn't hurt the marker and it doesn't hurt the jar. I don't recommend, and I've seen it done, you do what works best for you, but I do not recommend taking your marker and dipping your marker into the jar. First off, it's going to want to absorb as much ink as it possibly can. Maybe too much. Maybe it will take a long time for that to draw out. Second, every time I put a colored marker, a different color marker into this ink, it will change the color of the ink over time. This will no longer be true to yellow number 201 because you will have added different colors to it every time you drop your marker in. So I take 2 drops to start. 2 drops to start. So then I can play. So here's my color. I put my marker directly into, and you will see that it will leave a little pink behind. And the longer I let it sit in there, the more yellow is being drawn into the nib. So it started out as yellow, even though the marker is pink. And as that yellow worked its way out of the nib, my true color came back. Now, can you see that there's a little bit of pink mixed in? That was what will happen to your jar if you put your pen directly into a different color. Now, the longer I let it sit here, the more ink is being absorbed into the nib. The more ink in the nib, the longer it will take to draw out. Can you use dark colors? Sure. Here's a brown. 2 drops, and the brown is pretty intense. So I'm going to go 1, 2. I could have gone a little longer. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. So every time I've left it in a little bit longer, and it's taking it a little bit longer to draw the color out. But once it's out, and you're good to go. So you've got all of these fabulous markers, the Ecoline, all of the fabulous markers. Then you pick up the re-inkers for them, the liquid watercolor. Then you start mixing and matching them by doing a tip to ink blending, not tip into the jar, and I'm not doing a tip to tip blending. Lots of people will like to do a tip to tip blending. The thing with a tip to tip blending is that you never get that concentration that you do when you place it directly into those drops. It doesn't absorb into the nib the same way, so you never get that beautiful gradation. It's a little different. It's lovely, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's not the same. And a little bit of ink goes a really long way. So if I did the blue, one, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm still on those first 2 drops. I'm almost out of ink in there, out of 2 drops. Beautiful, right? And once you've got the yellow out, you're back to your pure color. So I wanted to color these. And I wanted to play with my tip to ink blending. So I'm going to grab my pink marker, my brown marker, and I'm going to use my yellow. So 1, 2, oh, 3, 3. I went big time, 3. And I want to make sure to have some room around or an extra piece of paper, because if I've got it too too saturated with one color and I'm not getting the gradation of color that I want, I'm going to work it off over here until I start to see the nib turn into the host color, the true color. So 1, 2, 3, and just start to come in and use my color. 1, 2. Straight in. 1, 2. I can probably do this one without going back in. One, two. Now if I want, so I've got a very little bit of yellow going on that one. If I want to see the pink sooner, I can work out my yellow over here until I start to see some of my pink come in, and then come back in and continue on. So I have a little bit more pink going on. I can come in here and do all the little tips in yellow. I'm just coming across 4 petals at once. And it's doing my highlights and my shadows and my blending, and I'm not doing, all I'm doing is coloring. And I put 3 drops in here. I could have gotten away with 2 drops. Talk about easy. And before you know it, you've got your flower done. It's not hard. It doesn't take long. These flowers have lots of petals together. So I may just go and do a whole bunch of them at once. get some of that yellow out. Bring in some of that pink. And you just go for it. And you let the gradation happen naturally. And all your petals have the same hue and the same tone, but they're not exactly alike because the ink is coming out at a slightly different rate per petal. Some have a little more yellow. Some have a little more pink. But they all go because it's all the same ink, just at a slightly different rate. Of the nib emptying out. Now I'm not using 2 or 3 markers to get that. I'm just using one. And now if I want to do my leaves, I'm going to try and do my leaves with the brown and mix in some green. So I've got my green liquid watercolor. And I'm going to dip. And I'm going to see what I get and how long it's going to take. Okay. Probably should have had a little bit more green in there. So let's dip it a little bit longer. That was good. Go in and do some of my leaves. some of my stems. And I'm using a brown marker, but it's primarily coming out green. And then that brown is slowly blending its way in as the green leaves the nib. And I've used 2 markers, but I used the liquid watercolor to allow me to make my blends without actually making my blends. And then when I need the brown, I take and I just run it until my brown is true. There it is. So let's take my red. Or maybe I take my blue. It'll be an unusual looking flower, but that's okay. Let's take my blue. I'm gonna get some new yellow because I've had a couple colors in there and it really was just 3 drops. So I'm gonna give myself 1, 2. And my blue marker. And 1, 2, 3. Let's see. And I just keep going. Sometimes I have a little more yellow, sometimes I have a little more blue. One marker, oodles of color. Okay. And then I could take my red and dip my red into my yellow. Oh, I'm running out of yellow. And just go all the way around. Yeah, I'm out of yellow. So I've used all my yellow. I need another drop. Drop. And you can see that there's red mixed into it, and I don't want that mixed into my main color. And I just keep going. It's just absorbing that ink in. That was better. And I could use my yellow with my green. I don't have to use the brown. I could use yellow and green to do it. Oh, two drops. Ooh. I'm living dangerously with 2 drops. All with liquid watercolor, marker, and the fluid. And as I draw with it, that brown slowly starts to come out and adds a little bit of shading. A little bit of definition. Lid on, please. Now I'm just selling through here. I'm just getting it done. And then I think I'll take my yellow marker. Give yellow centers. I think I'll take my blue. It's got a little bit of red going on in it, but we'll see. Okay, now that I've got these done, what am I going to do with them? Well, that's where my hockey brush comes out again. So, put my brush pins away. I used almost zero ink. Put these aside, and let's grab some white paper. Bring over my water, and what colors do we want? What colors do we want? I think we'll do here. And maybe some blue. I want something to pop. And maybe we'll throw in a little bit of gray to see what happens. So I've got blue, yellow, gray. Hockey brush, water. Look at that go. Touch it with some water, make it run some more. Make it move. You're going to end up with some on your craft mat. I'm going to pick that up. I think I'm just going to drop some more blue. Pick up some water, literally from my craft mat, and just kind of touch into it to make it move. And I wanted some gray. I'm just touching. To make it move. taking that Hake brush and adding a little bit of water and touching. And there'll come a point where I'm done, where I say enough. That's hard for me to say enough, because I think if some's good, more must be better. And it's just a drop. All right, I think I'm gonna leave it. Tap some of that off. And I'm gonna let that sit. Don't know what part of it we're gonna use, but I'm gonna let it sit. Ooh, I wanna take some of this off. Right there, just take some of that off. I said I was done, but well. Okay, I'm gonna let it be. I really am gonna let it be this time and see what we get. Just kind of let it roll into each other. And I got all of this left. And this is where you don't have as much control, but I've got a lot of water here. Look at how pretty they move. And when I think I'm happy, tap off some of the extra and just let it sit. Just let it sit. Let's do another one. Clean my Hake brush, wipe everything down, kind of just clear it out. My water isn't pretty anymore, it's not clear, but that's okay, I'm going for it. And let's grab my paper completely wet, completely saturated. Decisions, decisions. And anywhere it's not moving to, just put your little brush, your hockey brush in there. Add some water. And it will move to the water. Okay, I'm done with that one. I don't think I'm going to do anything more. I think I'm going to let that one just kind of be. And let it sit. I'm running out of room to where let it sit is. And then we've got one more piece of paper. Kind of just get all the water out and start again. And I think I'm going to let that sit. Almost. All right, we'll see what we get. Look at how beautiful those colors are, right? I mean, that's pretty spectacular. I don't know if the camera picks it up or not, but that's pretty good. All right, sitting. Okay, now we have to die cut. Die cut, what? Yes, die cut. I'm just picking this up so it doesn't go to waste. All right, let's let this one sit. It's fun, isn't it? Let it sit. Mr. SMS is gonna walk into his office and go, "What's all this paint on my desk?" And I'm gonna say, "Oh, just get a baby wipe. It's watercolor, no problem." Okay, let's grab the two that we've colored in with our marker. Let me get my lids on. And this is where me having some of them done ahead of time was important, because those are not going to dry in time. Okay, brush. Over here, die cutting machine. Wahoo Kachoo, my Sizzix Big Shot machine. Let's bring it over. And the stamp that we were using from Elizabeth Crafts has the coordinating die. So I can take and die cut out just the floral part. Just the floral part. Take a little bit of maker's tape, because I'm not using a magnetic platform, and send it on through. One roll, easy peasy, mac and cheesy. And my flower is die cut out. Let's do the second one. Means I don't need to do anything else around it. Send it through my Big Shot machine. Easy peasy mac and cheesy. And now I've got my two floral. Then I have the opportunity, and again, these are not, these are not dry. These are the ones I just did. They are not dry. It's getting there. Oh, that one got touched by the other one. But I did do some earlier. I did do some earlier. So they would have a chance to dry. And let's see. Maybe that one there pops really good. And that one there I think pops really good. But it also pops there. All right, let's try these two. Bring my stamp platform back over. Lay my paper down. Figure out where I want my stamp to be. give a press, and ink it up. Press down. I think that looks good. I'm not even going to give it a second one. There's one. Oh, that's a tight fit. We'll go this way. Oh, Stacey. Well, it's going to be what it's going to be. Down we go. Ink it up. That looks good. And I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to trim these out. Again, this is on 110-pound paper. It's the Stacey Park white cardstock, the SP white cardstock. Hold on to those just in case I need them. Hold on to those in case I need them. Where'd I put my other flat? Oh, whew. Take a little foam tape. Now, you would do a much better job of putting the foam tape down than me. I'm just trying to get it down so you can see. And pop it right on top. Pop it right on the top. And then we'll mat it onto white, I think. And then add a sentiment. So I love having the matching die to that stamp set. And that stamp set is part of the I Want It All bundle. Pop it right on top. Mat. So cute. Beautiful. And then the last one, which is so striking on that paper. Oh my gosh, that paper's beautiful. But we didn't buy the paper. We made that paper, but it needed that stamp. We needed to stamp that image behind it, behind the floral, so it makes sense. We needed to put that stamp all the way around. In fact, I think I might just trim this just a little bit more. So we had that background, but it's the exact same stamp. And having that die cut lets us color and die cut, color it completely differently, and go in and die cut it out, and then pop it on top. So when we're making that background, it's easy peasy. We don't have to worry about that center floral. We don't have to worry about masking it out or accidentally coloring in where we shouldn't, because we just cover it right on up with that die cut. And the Royal Talens colors are stunning. They're not a regular ink. They're not a regular watercolor. They come from the fine art world, and $8.50 a jar for the liquid watercolors regularly, but then they're on sale for $5.99. And I want to say the brush markers are like $49, and you get 10, so that would be like $5 a marker. But then they're on sale for $38 maybe. That's $3.80 a marker. That's a good price for a marker, anybody's marker, not to mention something that's coming from a company that is so high quality. Look it. Now sentiments. So we're not going to get to stamp the sentiments. There's just not enough time. It is, I don't know, 1 o'clock in the morning. Literally, it is 1 o'clock in the morning. So let's see. What did I do with the sentiments? I know they're here somewhere. Well, shucks. Oh, here they are. So here's the sentiment set. It has plant, dream, grow, done, here comes the sun, all things grow with love, flourish, live, love, laugh, or live, love, grow. It is one piece, and you stamp it. Then, depending on whether I can find where I put it, then you can cut them out. So the girls did them in black, they did them in gold, they did them in silver, in the embossing powders, to where then I can just pick whatever it is I want. So if I am at that there, so they stamped them, they embossed them, then they cut them and put them in a little baggie just for me, so I could pick what I wanted. Well, I did the black ones. I stamped the black ones. The girls did the embossing ones. But what a great way to get it done. Just stamp them, cut them, put them in a baggie, and your sentiments are ready to go. And the sentiments are sunshine and what fun, hi, dig deep, smell the roses, seasons in the sun, it's a good day, delightful, blossom, fresh as a daisy, hopes and dreams. So there's a little bit of something for everybody in there. And it's one stamp. Oh, that was a bad cut. Well, we'll just make it better. I think I can be forgiven. It's 1 in the morning. So I can't start filming my classes until the store is closed. Oh, I think this is so pretty. And then let's pick a sentiment. Hopes and dreams. Yeah, that works. I'm good with that. And I'll even pop it. Hopes and dreams. And then how many different things have we done with those liquid watercolors? The Ecoline brush pens, the Ecoline liquid watercolor. and the Elizabeth Crafts products. Her stamps are stunning. Well, they're David stamps, and they're stunning, and they just make things easy. Okay, and this one. Here comes the sun. So we did, we did that one and this one, and we did this one and that one and that one and that one and that one. And now all they need is a sentiment. Ready to go. Plant kindness. Works for me. All right, so we did a lot today. We started super easy, where all we did was get our paper wet, really wet, with our Hake brush. And made beautiful, beautiful backgrounds. We stamped, got the paper wet, and let it go. Got that ink on there, and we were able to manipulate it because we were in control. We didn't turn it upside down. We were able to have some control. Then we used our embossing powders to get the same effect using black and white embossing powder. So as a resist. Then we took our markers and our palette and a little bit of the liquid watercolor, and we did tipped ink blending to where I only used a single marker for the flowers and a single marker for the leaves. And then we made our own backgrounds. There's a lot that can be done with product if you just give yourself the chance to explore it. Elizabeth Crafts makes beautiful things, and we have the I Want It All bundle, which has the 2 stamps I used today. It has the stencils, the 4-pack of stencils. It has the sentiments, and it has the background papers that I used today. So that's in the I Want It All bundle from Elizabeth Crafts. But she has other things. David designed other things. You have this whole set here that has the matching stamps. You've got the art journal from David, all the different art journal type dies. So those are all on sale as open stock. The I Want It All bundle is open stock as well. Maybe you just love this stamp and that's what you want to get. Absolutely, it's available open stock to you as well. I do love the sentiments. I love how easy they were to stamp, emboss, or stamp with ink and then just cut out and just kind of hold them in storage until you need them. We have, I think it's either 8 or I think it's maybe 8 different sets of the Ecoline brushes, all on sale from the Oh, the fashion colors to the pastels to botanicals, darks. They call this one architectural. We've got them all online. And the ones I was using today were the brights. So all on sale for you, along with all of the Ecoline jars. I want to say there's 60 jars available. And they're pretty amazing. They are not your typical liquid watercolor. They're better. So I was playing with a whole host of them today. And I love them all. Maybe they're $8.95. At any rate, we've got them for $5.99. But only for, well, they'll stay in the studio. But in the studio is also almost over. Once we get to August, we start a brand new in the studio class series of classes. So all 60 of them or 61 of them, whatever we've got up is what we've got, and they're all available. We'll do the waterproof ink because you're going to need it if you do any of this so your ink does not smear. We'll put some of the embossing powder on sale, absolutely. We'll put the Hockey brushes on sale, you bet. My gosh, look at the color. How do you throw that away? I'm not throwing that away. I promise you I am not. Even this one. Look at that. We made that together. And we made some pretty striking things. And it wasn't hard. It's white paper and playing and just going for it. So let me show you some samples that were made. So let me run through the cards first because they're beautiful. This was Dortina. Look at that, isn't that gorgeous? So she's using the dies, she's using the stamps. Oh, that's Dortina too. I wonder if these are on, oh, here's Claire. So the stencil and the floral, that comes in one of the sets, the dies. And here's another. This is Honorary SMS Girl Mary. You've got all the paper and the floral and the stamp. And look at this vintage. Ooh, that's sharp. Love that, very vintage. Oh, and that's Dortina again. Well done, you. Oh, and Catherine. Catherine, stunning. So the girls did a completely opposite. Oh, Mary did this out of the one of the journals. She scored it and made a little book out of it, a little fold. Nice job, Mary. And then she's got the stencil and the background. Nice job. Katie, stunning. Katie went through and used the little gardening set, and she stamped and just used the entire stamp as the background. Don't know who made the tag, but I like it. Oh, I think maybe somebody who, one of Elle's design team members made the tag. Love the tag. And here we have a color block from Yvette with the gears for a guy. That's the stencil. And here's the resist on white. The white resist and then just inked with the liquid watercolor. And Dortina, she is busy girl. She embossed in the gold and then went in and colored. And then I've got Yvette came to visit. Honorary SMS girl Yvette came to visit for the day. She's up in Northern California. She drove down and spent the day with us and we loved it. So we send stuff up to her. This time she put it in her car so she can make samples while she's up in Northern California. Look at this, Yvette, I love this. So that flower is in one of the die sets. Catherine made one of the little folios with the flowers. Oh, Catherine, isn't this wonderful? Hopes and dreams, this was fun. Note to self, gratitude. She did this with one of the journaling dies and it's lovely. Oh, and somebody made a tag. Love the tag. And another beautiful folio. And Katie went in there and she shaded and she colored. So embossing powder. She did white up top and then she fussy cut it out and she did the pot in silver and then went in and colored. Beautiful, Katie. And then I have the books. So these were done by Elizabeth Crafts. I'm not sure what designer did what. I don't know if there's a name on them. I don't know if Els did them. I don't think so. But these are stunning. And it has everything in it. It has the pockets. It has the stencils. It has the dies. It has the pages. They're absolutely out of this world gorgeous. Look at this. It's amazing. The tags. Crazy good, using everything from this collection. So we have all of these things for you, all of those journal, the art journal dies. Holy smokes. Really just amazing. Everything's got a little pocket, everything's got a little tag. I'm returning these because these are somebody's family photos. Oh, so good. Aw, I don't know where this one came out of. So good. Oh, I bet when I did that, I did that. I bet this went here and I bet that went there. And I bet that, yeah, I bet that's what it was. These are absolutely amazing. And it uses every little thing in the collection. Beautiful, right? And then I have this one. So they even decorated the outer folio. You've got the stencil, love the bling. Oh, pretty. Look at, you've got the stencil going on. There's the flower we did today. It's the stencil. Little how, oh, love this. I don't want to open this, but I bet if I open it, it opens. Oh, and same thing, look at the little locking key and it opens. These are absolutely dreamy and oh my gosh, took somebody some fabulous time, some amazing creativity going on here. Oh, and they open. Look at that. Love, love, love. The stencil behind. Oh, I can't read their writing, but it's beautiful. And then the last thing I have for you is some layouts from the SMS girls. Using David's paper and the stencil and the die cut and the stencil all in the I Want It All bundle. And this one was done by Mary. And then super simple, just a color block with the dies that are in some of the art journal, the little corner that comes with it, bloom cut out of it. And this is Yvette with a really simple graphic color block. And then love this one, Yvette. So you've got the paper from David, and then she's matted, and she's done all the little pieces from the gardening set where you have the die and the stamp. And you've got all the sentiments. So, holy smokes, artichokes. It's now 1:30. Hope to be home by 3 a.m. I might be sleeping tomorrow as we live chat. If I forget to type something, just say, hey, are you still with us? But I hope you had a good time today. I hope you learned something. I hope I showed you something you didn't know before. I hope I brought you some experience or some insight to fine art and how it can be accessible and it can be affordable, and sometimes it's the same price. I don't know, go look around for liquid watercolors by non-fine art companies and see what they're charging for them. We've got these for $5.99, and I think that's right in the realm of everybody else, and yet the quality so much higher. Els, David, stunning collection. Had a great time with it, and I made, well, and I made, and I made, and I made, and then I made some more, and a little bit more. So, if you like what you saw, I know the collection is available just about everywhere. Elsa's collection is available at lots of independent retailers. By all means, go say hello to them. The liquid watercolors and the Ecoline from Royal Talens and the brush tip markers might be a little more challenging to find, but we're here. Oh, I feel like my face is so red. We're here for you if you need, if you want, but if you do have a local art store, we encourage you to visit them as well. Otherwise, Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. All right, you guys, thanks for being here. Appreciate you. The next time I see you is Monday for our Make It Monday event. And our next Make It Monday event is Tim Holtz. All right, you guys, I'll see you then. Bye, everybody.